Let's make sure we get this recording going. It looks like it is. So, all right, let me check to see if I got my featured entrepreneurs. I know I got James. I saw Devankar. And here's Ashley. So it looks like it's coming together here. All right. So we have Ashley joining in as well. So it seems that our 3 featured entrepreneurs have arrived. And hello, Ashley. Welcome.
Hi.
So glad you could join us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm great. How are you?
All right, doing pretty good. We're just doing a quick introduction. You didn't miss too much yet. Great. And yeah, we now got our 3 featured speakers. So Ashley, we're so glad you could join us. James,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, James, we're so glad you could join us, as well as Devankar. So, yeah, the way I want to run this down real quick, I gotta mention DNT, who's been around 10 years, and I gotta mention our sponsors, Kerr Russell Law Firm, which is the oldest law firm and they help people with intellectual property needs. So if we have any inventors or anybody that is interested in copyright, trademark, or securing their intellectual property, we got Kerr Russell as one of our sponsors, as well as Techtown Detroit. And I gotta admit, Techtown is they've provided great space for us over the years. We usually meet at Techtown, but of course, with the pandemic and everything, we're here virtually. And finally, Accelerate for Kids, which is a nonprofit technology education company. They teach the youth of Southeast Michigan and Detroit computer science. So I want to thank our sponsors who have allowed DNewTech to meet the past, the present, and going into the future. So, I have been given hosting and organizer privileges or responsibility within the last 6 months or so. So now I'm thinking here, all right, how can we build our DNewTech community, and how can we kind of get some momentum going forward, and just kind of studying where we're at right now, especially with these kind of pivotal times, just with the pandemic and everything that's happening, but also socially and what is going on within our communities, what's going on in through our streets and in through our government, but really how does the entrepreneur in the startup culture, what is our role in all of this? How can we kind of take this moment and really to figure out how are we going to orient ourselves going forward? How can we help build community and make a positive social impact? So, hey, first, what we're going to do is we're going to talk with our 3 entrepreneurs. And first, I'd like to welcome James, who is the founder and CEO of Plainsight. And I met James briefly. He probably doesn't remember this, but I was going for a tour through the Quicken Loans buildings in downtown Detroit and all their incredible collaborative spaces. And I met James for just a moment as I was going through that tour. But hey, James is a Detroit-based serial entrepreneur. He's been involved with Quicken Loans and Rock Ventures, and I know he had a big part in the Detroit Demo Days. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Detroit Demo Days, it's big. And yeah, maybe I'll have James can explain it better than me. But Detroit Demo Days is this incredible pitch competition that is kind of the showcase of our Detroit Startup Week that we've been having. But hey, anyways, James, I would like to welcome you on here, and you're free to it'd be great to see your face if you could share your video as well as please unmute yourself. And yeah, we just like to know a little bit about you, James. How, and really, I'm curious about the entrepreneurial journey. Maybe what are a few of the defining moments as you're growing up that kind of steered you towards entrepreneurship, and how did you get into getting involved with demo days, but really how that brought you into working with Plainsight. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and kind of how it led to Plainsight?
Yeah, totally. First off, thanks for having me. And if we could, is it okay if everybody mutes who isn't speaking? Just because I'm picking up some weird background noise, and I don't know if others are picking up weird background noise too. But yeah, I think that does it. So just wanted to say thanks for having me. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was involved in a number of entrepreneurial endeavors down there, which kind of led me to moving to Detroit. I started working space for side hustlers that's open between the hours of 6 p.m. and midnight down in Chattanooga, and got recruited by Dan Gilbert and his team to help reshape entrepreneurship initiatives here in the city. And so when I moved up, I pitched Detroit Demo Day to the Rock Ventures team. They liked the idea, and we've been pushing out $1.2 million to entrepreneurs that are based here or willing to relocate to the city of Detroit for the past 3 years. And so that's been great. And actually the workspace that I was running back home in Chattanooga actually led me to Plain Sight, because when I was running the space, the number one question people would ask me is, who's in the space, or who's going to be around the space, or can you help me get connected to, this person or that person, and just realize that there's a real opportunity to build community in and around local businesses. And so that's our mission at Plain Sight. Jack, I think you're talking, but I think you're on mute.
Hey, James, would you remind me the name of the startup in Chattanooga before Dan Gilbert found you?
Yeah, the co-working space was Workaholics. It was
Workaholics.
yeah, it's a co-working space for side hustling.
Okay. And hey, James, so your role, I am curious about your role in the Detroit Demo Days, in as far as social impact in the building communities, and how do you think that's had an impact on the Detroit entrepreneurial ecosystem?
I would say it's been a huge catalyst for bringing people together. I think that it's provided a lot of inspiration for entrepreneurs here in the city. Being able to come out and watch locals receive anywhere between $50,000 and $300,000 for their venture, and be celebrated, and pitch to judges, and have the red carpet rolled out for you, and 2,000 people in attendance. I think it's a really good boost of energy for entrepreneurial minded people in the city. And so my hope is that through Demo Day, we've not only been able to provide monetary capital for these businesses, but we've also been able to give people encouragement, and hope that there's resources available for them to be able to take their venture to the next level. And my hope is also that we continue to do that for years to come.
Hey, and if there's one major takeaway or lesson learned from your time and experience with Detroit Demo Days, and how that kind of shifts over to what you're working on now with Plainsight, what would that be?
I think, obviously with Demo Day, we want to provide monetary capital, and with Plain Sight, we have a huge focus on human capital, just getting people to support one another, getting people to collaborate and make connections with people that they might not even knew existed, but could make potential business partners or potential customers or mentors or whatever the case may be. And so, both are community building opportunities, but I think they both kind of attack it from different angles.
James, is there anything you need or that you would ask for from the entrepreneur community here in Detroit that could help you out with your endeavors?
Download Plain Sight. That's you could always do that. Just search it; it'll be the first thing that pops up in your app store. But I think more than that, one of the bigger initiatives that we just announced to our users on Monday is that we are going to be helping people re-enter those same shared spaces that we want them building communities in. And so our platform will allow you to see how many people a space is allowing, any COVID-related guidelines for entering that space. You can book a reservation if they're providing reservations and things of that nature. So I would say not only get on Plain Sight, but check out the businesses that are open in our business directory on Plain Sight, and then go out and support those businesses if you have the peace of mind and the confidence to get out and do so. And if not, continue to collaborate from home, but definitely want to support those businesses as they open for those that have the appetite to.
All right. Thank you, James. So as you heard him say, you can go to, so right in the chat, I put the plainsight.app. You can all click there and just check it out. Go through the Plain Sight page and see what you find, see what you learn there. That's something you can do for James now. So, hey, thank you, James. So next I would like to introduce Ashley with Rizar. And let's see. So Ashley is the founder and CEO of Rizar, and she is leading the Millennial and Gen Z content marketing strategist, spokesperson, consultant, and global speaker for brands that want to reach younger generations. So I'll leave it at that, Ashley. I'll let you say the rest. But hey, I'm curious, Ashley, about kind of your background and your entrepreneurial journey, and kind of maybe some of the big moments that have led you to starting Rizar and kind of where you're headed with Rizar.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, Jack. And James, I'm so excited for all that his company is doing and the impact that he's making in the community, especially with given the circumstances and the time being. So I'm so excited for him and his app. So my background is I actually am originally from Michigan. I grew up just outside of Detroit in one of the suburbs, and I was a journalist for a number of years. I worked at NBC. Well, I guess I should say, I went to school at USC for journalism, and then from there went to USC or to NBC and worked for network news at a variety of different shows like the Today Show, the Griot, and MSNBC. And then from there, I went to work at a station in Baltimore called WBAL Radio. And then my last job was with USA Today, where I hosted a show and also was like a general assignment reporter, primarily focusing on like creating content that could go viral and like shareable content. And as I was in these different opportunities, and particularly even when I was in college, and I guess like really going back when I was in high school, my high school actually had a television station. So I got involved in journalism really early in my life, not even realizing that's what I was doing. And so I would host shows. And one of the things that was happening a lot was just really talking to a lot of youth and seeing that they were going through different things in life, and wanting them to be able to help each other through those and empower each other. So I created a show around that and wanted to continue doing that. But then the flip side of, as I was approaching it in that way, I also realized a lot of youth who wanted to create content and get paid for creating content and have these real world experiences were really having a hard time doing so, particularly those who wanted to go into journalism or marketing, where everything is so so focused on having that real world experience. And I was even told, as I was looking for my first reporting job, to get more real world experience. Thankfully, WBAL gave me that opportunity. But I want Rizard to be kind of like a catalyst for young people who want to be able to get those opportunities earlier, and to create content of all variety. We focus really on like the life and the lifestyles of millennial and Gen Zers. And at the same time, we are helping brands and entities trying to understand this generation and to reach them through content creation to be able to do so. We really focus on like purpose-driven content, more things that are uplifting or of the aspiration of who a person aspires to be and what they want to do in the world, and helping brands to do that through our technology. So we've been around now. This is going on our 5th year. We're currently right now in the process of raising a seed round. So hopefully we'll be closing that soon, and looking to then redevelop the platform and to continue to make an impact.
All right. And geez, about how many content creators do you have?
Yeah, so we have just over about 5,400, just a little bit over that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So and how long has it taken to kind of build up that base of creators, and what do you think it is that really reaches or kind of brings in those content creators?
Yeah, I would say, well, it's definitely taken a moment for sure. Oh, thank you. Who said that? It definitely has taken a moment for sure, because there's so many approaches in terms of us trying to figure out how do you gain more content creators. I think primarily realizing that focusing on where is this demographic that we're looking for, and those younger individuals who are kind of more vetted and getting vetted. So like through like journalism schools, English departments of schools. And then also just doing different things with events, different campaigns. As you can, like on the platform, we did this campaign a little while ago around mental health. And we actually were pushing out content that from the platform on social media, and on Twitter. We actually were like the number 9th conversation in the country on the day that we were pushing out this campaign, and that really drove more traffic to the site, and then people were interested in signing up to be a content creator.
That's really incredible. It seems like a whole new way that students and young people can develop the literacy of writing and reading content, and learning how to get to different sources of information. And traditionally, we have the newspaper or cable television, but now we're speeding ahead into the future, and now there's so many different ways to get content directly from the creators. I think that's very interesting.
Thank
you.
And especially now, just with the times, it's interesting given the circumstances, but how things have really shifted online, and how so many entities now need content, and there are so many people now who are also looking for opportunities to build their portfolio or to get more career experience or more job opportunities. So I'm hoping that as we continue to grow, and especially with the build out of the new platform, we'll be able to help a lot of young people to be able to do what they love to do.
Right. And to get the voice heard, to participate in that dialogue or that discourse, that's a powerful thing. So, hey, I'm looking forward to where Rizard's headed to next.
Thank you.
Hey, lastly, is there any big news with Rizard? No pun intended. Or like you mentioned, you're going into a seed round coming up here. Yeah. My last question would be: has COVID, or just kind of how has that affected maybe your ability to get funds, or maybe where you're going to raise money?
Yeah, I think it's really interestingly, and I said, I'm it's sad that in these circumstances, I think people were understanding, investors were understanding like what we were doing, but with COVID now and how everything has really shifted online, and how brands now really even need more content than ever before, it's really allowed us to kind of prove out our hypothesis more, and how the need for content creation, and really a way that's authentic, because more people are online now, but they don't want to hear like these kind of dumb, I should say, or lackluster messages from brands. They want brands to be really purposeful and very meaningful in what they're delivering. So to hear directly from content creators who can work with these brands and delivering this authentic, powerful message, it's really helped us actually with Around.
And how do you vet the content? Of course, we have all the fake news or just faulty information that anyone can create content. How do you make sure that it's not going to be harmful stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, well, part of it too is so, and I think because of my love of journalism as well, we'll still have a content team that will help with the curation of content as it's published on the platform, and there'll be more of a build out as to what the user experience will look like. So that's one framework. But the other framework is that we're also developing machine learning and AI technology that will analyze content as it's submitted, and also basically kind of like into other technologies that will review the content with us as they're reviewing it too. So there's definitely a technology piece to making it scalable. And with the vetting of the content creators, we really have identified like a proprietary process around that. But we also are, continuously tweaking it. But there definitely is more of a vetting for those content creators who want to work with brands, and they have to apply and all these other things that go with that.
All right. So I am sharing over here in the chat. I did share Rizar.com, and I encourage everybody to go check out Rizar.com at a chance and check out some of the content on here. There's so many different genres of content. It's really crazy. And maybe discover some young, talented content creators. There's some interesting perspectives.
Thank you.
Ashley, thank you so much. Is there anything that the Detroit entrepreneurship community, if you could ask for anything from the community, what would that be? What are you looking for, be it in your own journey or with Rizar?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an off note from Rizar, but I would really highly encourage people to stay woke, and not woke in the sense of like all the social things going on, but I mean woke in terms of their purpose and why they're here. I think if anything for me, this whole time period has really helped me reflect to understand that, we're only given a short amount of time. I mean, even if we live to 90, God willing, if I would live to 90 years or more, it's still in the retrospect of the time frame of the earth, a short time period here. So what are you going to do while you're here? If you want to be an entrepreneur, yes, it's a lot of time. It can be hard. It can be stressful. It can be challenging. It could be all those things, but it also can be such a beautiful process in who you're becoming. Or even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, but there's some passion that you have that you've been meaning to pursue, or something that you've been meaning to do, go do it, because we only have so much time here. And if anything, this is a reminder to us that we need people to be woke, because we probably need, and I'm sure we need, whatever it is, someone in the world needs what it is that you're looking to do, that you're looking to offer. So get to it, get about it, so that person then can go get to about what they need to be doing. We all impact each other. We're all creating our own ripple effects. I call it the ripple effect of you. We all each have those. So start tapping into that now.
All right, the ripple effect. Stay woke. Self-awareness. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Sure.
All right. So, hey, that's the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is really there's this deeper purpose that's a part of our identity that kind of drives us. And I feel that it's a magnetism, or it has this sort of attraction, and for bringing the right people and things together at the right time, it can really unleash a lot of potential.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The ripple effect. That's what we're doing. Okay. All right. Next, I would like to welcome Devankar Mukhi, and let's see here, Devankar. All right. So Devankar Mukhi, I met at Wayne State, and he's an incredible leader. He's been a part of the Wayne State Rotaract student organization, and I've just watched him grow this incredible team of these charismatic young people that want to make a difference and want to make a change in the world. And I've also really seen how Devankar, through his leadership and his just ability, his perspective, his way to kind of observe and lens the world. I thought from an entrepreneurial perspective as well, I thought I'd have him here. So, hey, Devankar, who founded Green New Detroit, can you tell us about kind of your journey and how you got to Green New Detroit and kind of what's going on with Green New Detroit? Let's see. All right, Devankar, I'm not getting audio, video from you. Oh no. Let's see. All right, give me a moment. I'm gonna check on Devankar. All right, hello, Devankar, are you with us?
Hey everybody, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, a little
Do a
bit
thumbs up if you can hear me.
Okay, I think you're getting better. Maybe a little connection issues.
Yep, that's exactly just what happened. Zoom just kicked me off because my internet connection's unstable, man. This is every time I close my door in my room, it always happens to me. I'm gonna hope that literally when you announced my name, it just went away. It was bad. I hope you guys can hear me now, though. Today, I would just like to first thank Jack for inviting me on to be alongside James and Ashley, who are just literally inspired me to hear about their ideas and what they're doing is so impactful in the city. And I'm so happy that there are people like them out there that I myself can look up to. And I'm just so proud to be on this panel alongside with them. So a little bit about me is I'm currently a Wayne State University student. I'm in my final undergraduate year and I'm studying public health and peace and conflict studies. I do a lot of work with our Wayne State University Center for Peace and Conflict Studies, a 55-year-old center that helps fight injustice, learning about social justice movements, being able to learn about a bunch of different things in the world, like international relations and learning about local conflict and things like that. It's an amazing place. And that is what really has motivated me and influenced me to pursue starting Green New Detroit. Green New Detroit is a startup aimed to fight environmental injustice. And we have the mission to provide sustainable solutions for everybody, make them accessible for everyone. And with climate change only going to continue to amplify the already existing divide between the haves and the have-nots, it's those who do not have the resources that are going to be hit the hardest. And I would like not only education, but actual materials and supplies be available for those who might have be marginalized, who might be disproportionately at risk from these climate stressors and not being able to have the proper information to be green. So Green New Detroit is doing a pilot program thanks to the Resolution Project. The Resolution Project, it's a little bit information is in right there on that winning pitch. It was a pitch competition that I did for an organization in New York City. This organization, the Resolution Project, helps provide funding, mentorship, and guidance to young entrepreneurs who want to take up social ventures. So I did this pitch competition actually back in February in person, pre-COVID-19, of course. And at that time, I had not been qualified or accepted to be receiving these funds or this fellowship. And, you know, at that time, it was really discouraging. You know, I was like, I really thought I had something good here. And a lot of people did tell me I had something good there, and I did place like number 3, but I believe the first top 2 got the program. Fast forward to April, they emailed me saying that they wanted to bring me back on to do a round 2 with me. They said that they really liked the idea. They just believed that my pitch may have been something that needed to be having worked on. And this time, I had now continued working with a very close friend and mentor to me, Dr. Eric Montgomery, who is working with me to help fulfill this project. Him being an anthropology professor, got his degree from Wayne State, went to U of M. So he has a lot of work in this area that is going to be helping lead this. He's actually on this call today. Connect with him, guys. And basically, I did this pitch again about the first week of June, and virtually this time I got accepted. So now I'm launching the pilot program for Green New Detroit, and the pilot program is going to be working in 3 steps. One is education. So we're going to be working with 12 to 16-year-old Detroit youth, specifically working in a youth organization, teaching them about how to acquire their carbon footprint, learning about data analysis and acquisition, looking at trends, being able to use that and being able to understand, what does it mean to be looking at their carbon output in their own homes, what they can do to save some money on their energy bill at their homes, things like that. Step 2 is going to be our digital mapping. So we're going to be using a digital mapping software to geotag and map an area in the city of Detroit, depending on where we do our program, to be able to specifically see what areas are more at risk for environmental stressors and dissemination, and understanding what areas need that help. That could be businesses, households, anything in that area that we can come and use cameras and video equipment with these kids to teach them hands-on experience with learning about what and how big technology has an influence in the community and the ecosystem. Finally, moving on to step 3, after we do the digital mapping and the data analysis and acquisition from the carbon footprint, we're going to be formulating and creating these environmental sustainability toolkits that we're going to be dispersing in those communities that are going to contain resources that we will feel that are needed after we decide what is the problem in those areas. That could be educational equipment, that could be gardening tools, seeds, equipment for becoming more green in your own home by switching out your light bulbs. And we will go in and show them how to do that, how to change their light bulbs, how to use a heat insulating curtain, all these kinds of methods. That way we are having our students become the trainers. So think of it as like the trainer model. And with the students becoming climate leaders now, they will be able to hold discussions, panels, and dialogues within these own communities. And we will create this Green New Detroit movement that will hopefully help the city of Detroit recognize that it is important to go green. And you don't need to own a Tesla. You don't need to own a solar panel roof to be green. You can start at your home. And that's Green New Detroit for you guys.
Hey, thank you so much for giving us the rundown, Devankar. So Devankar's in the kind of the ideation stage, but he has gotten some funding and some resources through, what's the program that you were pitching to?
The Resolution Project.
So through the Resolution Project. So he's kind of more in the planning and ideation stage, but I'm really looking forward to where Green New Detroit is heading. Hey, Devankar, if there's something that you need from the community, or that that Green New Detroit needs from the community, what would you ask for?
I would just ask for everybody here to give me your thoughts, connect with me. If you have resources on people or yourselves that have experience with any area such as environmental science, environmental engineering, product design, climate change, and if you want to be a part of it, let me know. So we're developing a advisory board. The advisory board is going to comprise of professors, business people, nonprofit leaders, basically anyone who wants to sit on this advisory board to help guide the the execution or the operations team, if you want to call it. And the operations team is going to comprise of young, passionate people, because I would really like the face of this organization startup to be the young people, to be the people that allows other people who are in middle school, high school, very young people, they can look up to us. They can see that you can be in, right after college, you can be in college, and you can still be a part of the community and making an impact. And that's the message I like to push out the most, is that you can start anytime and make an impact. And because I've seen it myself, because I've done it myself. And I want others to be able to see that and be able to just believe that all it takes is a little bit of effort to take action. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is just put a few great minds in a room together, and you guys can all change the world.
Thank you, Devankar. So, hey, I want to remind everybody to share a way that we can connect with you in the chat. So be it LinkedIn, be it an email address, just whatever the best way to kind of contact you, so that way we can all connect. Thank you. So thank you, Avery. I see you. So Avery has, thank you for sending a little blurb. So yeah, anyone who hasn't shared, if you've just joined us kind of in the meantime, over in the chat, if you would please share with us a way that we can connect with you, be it a LinkedIn link or whatever is the best way to connect with you all. And hey, Devankar, you mentioned that you're kind of seeking to have more conversations with different people around Detroit about sustainability and how to get kids involved through education. So if anyone who wants to talk or who would like to continue that conversation with Devankar, what's the best way to connect with you?
So I'm putting my LinkedIn right now in the chat. So just if you want to do that, LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn, I'm putting my email as well, so you guys can just email me out directly. But I would love to talk with anyone, venture capitalists or pitch competition leaders. We would always appreciate more funding, because right now we only have enough to do one pilot program, but moving forward, I kind of need those resources, as well as educational background. Jack is working a little bit to assist me on the educational portion for this, and being able to incorporate more of that curriculum and overview to help guide our students is going to be great. So I am open to everything and anything, so let me know.
Hey, Devankar, this is Tan. I was wondering if I can ask a question, Jack?
Yes.
Hey, have you heard of Carla Miller or the Walker Miller Energy?
Yes, I have heard of Walker Miller.
Yeah, I think she and her family, they've been running that company for 20 years, and I know that they have also a nonprofit foundation entity that work with kids in educating them about the greening and environmental practices. So that's my recommendations. I know that she collaborates with a lot of people, especially with Skillman, Kaufman. A lot of them requires collaboration now. They don't want someone just working on their own. So reaching out to someone that has a similar industry or other industry, I think that's what most foundations are looking at.
Thank you so much. And I'd love to connect with you as well. So let's please do that.
Yeah, I'll give you her email on a private email.
Thank you so much.
Message.
Okay, so thank you so much, James. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you so much, Devankar, for telling us about you, about your entrepreneurial journey, how you're getting into these new projects and programs with your companies. And yeah, I'm really curious to stick aboard and see where this goes next, as far as each of your kind of individual journeys. Yet it's cool that we're kind of work parallel. We work in our own directions, and we can come together in space and time, be it here on LinkedIn or on Zoom. So I would like to have a little conversation on startup culture and social impact. And really that's been everything we've talked about. But so as we get in our routines of life, just be it wake up in the morning, eat our breakfast, prepare ourselves for the day, go off to work, come back, spend time with our families, whatever our routines may be, they've kind of all been changed very dramatically here within the last 3 to 5 months, or especially since the pandemic in March. And whereas we're usually in our routine, we're usually in our way of doing things, it's just changed so drastically for all of us, it seems, recently. And how Ashley mentioned, the important thing, what she asked us to do at this point in time, is to stay woke, to be self-aware of what's going on and how we're using our time. And this moment, it seems, because we've been thrown out of our routine, because we've been kind of shaken up here, it's really causing us all to have to re-examine ourselves and our lives and our jobs and our companies in a lot of different aspects of what we do each day. So it's been a really interesting moment, this shaking of what's happening to us, to where we have to kind of collect ourselves. And of course, we never know what tomorrow brings, but yet with our communities, with our networks, but with our companies and our employees and our customers and our audiences and all of our different segments and our users and our investors, we have so many different people we come in contact with within our communities, within our network, within our social kind of web. So I would like to just open up to how at this moment in time, going forward, from a social standpoint, how can we use our positions of privilege, be it that we're here and able to access this technology and these tool sets that allow us to meet here in this space and that allow us to send messages in, be it creating content. So how can we use these tools that allow us to create this content, that allow us to meet in this virtual space, but that allows us to collaborate and create companies and startups? So how, going forward, what do we need, what's the, maybe the number 1, 2, and 3 things that we really need to consider going forward as being a part of the startup community?
I'll start because I know that we work. I mean, probably half of the people here have in touch with us, and want to say thanks to Ashley and James as well to be participating in this call, because I think this is really dear to not only to Jack's heart but also to the entrepreneur ecosystem here in Detroit. I think the biggest thing for us is collaboration. I think we need to do a better job collaborating with one another, because I feel like working alone, especially in this pandemic, it's hard. It's already hard to keep your business running, but then at the same time, trying to help the community is even harder. And so because of that, just speaking from my half, I know we try to do a harder job in collaborating with other nonprofit. So reaching out to, for instance, an example is when we heard that they needed more masks. One of the things Accelerate Kid did, first of all, was, okay, what can we do? We got a bunch of all these technologies sitting around, and we couldn't teach any kids during the first 2-3 months of this pandemic. We said, let's just go ahead and print out some face masks. And again, these were just kit 3D printers, but we did what we could. And then we sent it off through to St. John Moros out in the east side of Detroit. And so that was one way. And then we heard that, well, Detroit public school kids are going to get these laptops. They raised Skillman as well as DTE. These foundations have given Detroit public school $23 million to get them Chromebooks and Wi-Fi. But then what happens to all the other kids who are pretty much our charter school, homeschool, and they would be struggling. So we decided, well, let's do something with them. So we reach out to some of our friends, such as Paul Glantz from Imagine Theater and Ford Motor City Foundation. And we say, hey, we're trying to come up with this project called the COVID-19 Counterpunch Project. And this is to get laptops to kids who won't have access to it. That includes the charter school and the homeschool community in Detroit. And so, we raised $10,000, but hey, that gave us about, 20, 25 laptops. But that was enough to kind of get something going to do our part. So just trying to collaborate with others and reaching out, making sure that not only that we're looking out for our own business, which is important. As an entrepreneur, we're trying to survive. But we also have to understand that there's a community out there that's even hurting even more. So just finding ways to work together. And as I mentioned earlier to, Devankar, is that, a lot of these foundations, if you're in the nonprofit sector, they're looking for people to collaborate. It's the whole thought of working on your own, coming up with your own mission. It's great and all, but it's not going to allow you to get those grants, especially ones that they know that you can work with others who brings other skill set. So that's something I highly recommend, and we continue to do, and would continue to grow more, just because there are other foundations such as yours, environmental. There's others that works with literacy. We come in with the tech ed, which is technology education for kids. We're all bringing different skill set, and I think it's helping out not only us, because we have services to provide, but the bottom line, it's helping out the youth in our eyes as well as the community.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, I think the main thing is, it's like whatever you're passionate about. I mean, I know I keep going back to passion, but it makes it just so much easier for helping people and like for getting towards what is needed now. Like going towards that organization and figuring out and asking them how you can get involved and how you can, get involved in supporting them. I think that our community right now, I'm so glad these type of events exist online and like are still going and bringing people together. I think continuous conversations of mentorship, or either people just coming together just to kind of empower each other and just to stay connected, is so important for our community. And I think that's what's keeping things still going, and even in the realm that we are in, or some of us are still really much in quarantine, or like, feeling maybe isolated, the fact that we're still able to come online and still have these type of meetings. So if there is something that you want to do in terms of a particular niche area or focus area, I would suggest doing that.
So this is a time where different organizations especially need all the support they can get, and that makes sense. As collaborators, we can, hey, just be it through push a message through a post so a question that pops to my mind is there any other future events coming up that the community would like to share? So that's something I'll ask of you. Is there any events that you are all taking a part of that you think are worthwhile to the Detroit startup community, and that you think we should check out as well or keep an eye out for?
Yeah, hey, it's Eric Montgomery here. How are you guys?
Hey, doing good.
Yeah, I wanted to plug something. It's not out yet, but I know some of the folks on this chat are involved in it. But I'm working with the National Business League, which is obviously Booker T's group going back 100 years, representing about 150,000 Black and brown-owned businesses across the world. Well, it is headquartered in Detroit now. It's moved from D.C. A lot of you might know Dr. Ken Harris, who's the president of that. And he's got some money from Google, some other money from Comerica Bank to help with digitization of your website, moving things to applications, all sorts of things like that. But the goal is to get 1 million Black and Brown owned businesses. And actually, it's not Black and Brown exclusively. There's other businesses that are involved as well. 1 million within the next year, and he's pushing. So I just wanted to, a lot of the startups and small businesses out there, I wanted to encourage you all to sign up for the National Business League. It's only $20 a year. You can send it, you can look on the website, they'll waive the fees or whatever. But the collaboration, he always says the next revolution will not be televised, but it will certainly be digitized. And the fact that that's happening in Detroit with U.S. Department of Commerce money and big chunks and a lot of things going on, I think is worth mentioning. And I'm sure James is aware of some of that stuff already based on where he's at with, because he's right there next to, right next to Gilbert, the offices are right there, but nonetheless, yeah. And I wanted to applaud you all for the receptivity and the inclusivity that's displayed here, this idea of just sharing, because a few like-minded individuals are the only thing that's ever changed the world, man. And to do that on the entrepreneurial tip at a time like this, turning this negative into positive, like Ashley was saying, it's not what happens to us in life, it's how we react to it. And it's so great for me as a professor to see all you young folks reacting with such positivity and with such togetherness. It bodes well for the future of humanity, I hope.
Hey, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Dr. Eric Montgomery. We appreciate that. Let's see.
A couple of events that I just want to mention since you're asking about this. As you all know, Ann Arbor New Tech, and I think Traverse City New Tech, I don't know, I think that might be present here. But I know that Ann Arbor New Tech, this is where we got our start, is because, our Ann Arbor, they started this, I think 12, 13 years ago, and Doug Sung brought me out to his area, pitched over there, and afterward we thought we need to bring D New Tech into life. So that's why Detroit New Tech has been running for 10 years now. So go out to Ann Arbor New Tech, especially those who have not pitched out there. I think they meet the third Tuesday every month, and I think they're doing it virtually as well. The other thing is Traverse City New Tech. I know that there's I think they have a monthly event, and as a matter of fact, their event's a little different because you actually can pitch to win grand prizes, which will result of small grants. So something that you don't have to return. There's one other event I want to point out just because I was a board member of. It's the National Entrepreneurship Association, and they're having a pitch competition. Anyone can join. Actually, Dell Technologies has sponsored them, but it's called the National Virtual Pitch Contest that's taking place on August 12th. It's all on Zoom. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's $1,000 in cash prizes. Again, the cash prize is not the main reason I think you should participate. The main reason is because, if you have a great idea, you believe in it, you got to share it with the world. Just because I'm pretty sure out there's going to be people like yourself that believe that there is something like that, a service or product that's needed. And I believe that that's how you're going to get your word spreaded, especially with these days that we're doing a lot more Zoom and virtual call. You'll probably get more attention than you typically do if you were to be going to the event on site. So I'll share that on the chat. Thanks.
I'll jump in if I can, Jack. I'll give my plug for 1 million cups. A little closer to home. So, well, I guess everything's closer to home now. But 1 million cups is a national nonprofit that's funded by the Kauffman Foundation. Our chapter here in Southeast Michigan is the only one in the area. I think there's 2 others in Michigan. One's in Kalamazoo, one's in Copper County in the UP. But it is for specifically for early stage entrepreneurs, and it's not a pitch competition. It's a presentation and sharing and support. So we do it the second Wednesday of every month at 9 in the morning. Our usual home is the Loving Touch restaurant or bar in fashionable Ferndale, but these days we're on Zoom. We hope we're back at the Loving Touch next month, or perhaps the month following. We just had our July meeting this morning, and it's free when it's at the loving touch. It's free coffee, and everyone's invited. We have two entrepreneurs who present their business. They do it for about 6 minutes with about 6 slides, and then there's 20 minutes of very supportive and constructive conversation and questions. And then there's networking before and after. And like I said, we do it once a month on the second Wednesday of every month. So check out 1 Million Cups. That's the number 1 and then millioncups.com, and look for the Oakland County chapter. Where Oakland County is one of our sponsors. So that's why we are the Oakland County chapter, but we are all Southeast Michigan. Actually, we had a presenter this morning who was from Windsor, who was presenting. So it's this entire area.
Hey, Doug, that's really cool. Do you guys also fund or support other nonprofits?
What the Kaufman Foundation does. They're a pretty huge nonprofit organization out of Kansas City. They're for 1 Million Cups, which is part of they have different modules. Ours is, we're in the entrepreneurship module. They have others for other to support other aspects of whether they're social justice or other aspects of society.
So you guys do stuff from different topics, kind of. But this one in Ferndale is more towards entrepreneurs, right?
Sure. 1 Million Cups is it's entrepreneurial support, education, and support for entrepreneurship for startups. The idea of Million Cups, it's a cute notion, I guess, is that the idea that every startup, every new business was fueled by about 1 million cups of coffee. So it's 1 million cups.
I like that.
That's why the coffee's always free. We always have a coffee sponsor, the coffee, and occasionally donuts.
Or 1 million cups of something.
Of something, right? 1 million somethings. Anyway, but something's fueling that. But the idea of 1 million cups is, and I think somebody mentioned this earlier, entrepreneurship is it can be a lonely game. There's a lot of time just thinking, worrying. The collaboration is key, and that's what 1 Million Cups offers in a very when we say people present and not pitch, nobody's trying to win anything. I mean, there's lots of those, and that's great, but that's not what 1 Million Cups is. It's a support system and an educational system and a system of connection. So I've now been organizer for 1 Million Cups for just over a year, and it's amazing to me that every single presentation I've seen, even one that aren't from ours, because now that we're on Zoom, I'm able to see presentations from all over the place. There's always a change that takes place with the entrepreneur. They're exposed to an idea or a pivot or a market or a connection that somebody makes or a resource that somebody points out. I've seen it every single time. We were just talking about it after today's meeting. The organizer group was, because it happens every single time, and it's terrific. And it's why a lot of us are involved in 1 Million Cups, because it's exciting. Even for this is mostly for young folks, even for old folks like me. It's particularly exciting to see that happen and see the growth and the passion. So check out 1 Million Cups and come to a meeting.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Hey, is there any more entrepreneurs out there that want to introduce themselves and maybe talk about just introduce your startup or your company or the idea or the project you're working on? Let's open the floor for a second, see if anybody else jumps in that's been sitting in the background. Hey Samir,
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty well. Being here with everybody is wonderful. I'm glad you could join us.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to introduce my startup. In fact, I'm a Python developer. Python is a computer language. So I'm a Python Django web app developer, and I've made a cooking app where people, I don't know, say LinkedIn. I've seen a lot of people with LinkedIn. So you can say it's a LinkedIn for people who cook. Like usually people people who code They have something called as GitHub, or I'm not sure if you guys have heard of GitHub or Stack Overflow. These are places where people who code can show their coding skills. They have their codes. But for people who cook, there's nothing where they can show their cooking skills. So it's a small web app. It's actually, I even have a domain. It's called cal.com. That's KHAL cal.com. So yeah, so it's a place where people can actually go add their recipes, and then other people can and the more recipes you add, the more you could it's like a social network. People can follow you, people can like your recipes, people can it's like a social network where people can see your recipes, they can add, and then you can and it's like it gives you like a bio data sort of, supposing if you were to apply to a restaurant, and you can give your profile on cal.com, and they can see all the recipes that you've cooked. They can see, oh, this guy can make so and so recipes, as opposed to just having it on a piece of paper saying I can make 20,000 recipes. And if people can see how you've plated them, how you made them, how many people follow you, it can it's usually for I mean, that is one of the aspects, like chefs who can use them, cooking students who can use them, but it's more for people who usually cook, who love to cook. Like I am a developer. I'm not a chef, but I have I think at least 20 recipes over there. Yeah, that's a site. Yeah. So a lot of people actually I mean, I just added I developed the whole thing. I had a friend who helped me as well. So you can see all these people that you see, they've added their cooking videos and everything. So just wanted to know what you guys think about it. Oh, that's me. Yeah.
That's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, hey, everybody, check out cal.com, KHAL.com, and that is Samir's product here. So, Samir, thank you so much for sharing. This is very cool. I'm going to have to check this out, and hey, I'm trying to do some more cooking myself, so maybe I'll make some videos.
Yeah, there's food from all over the world.
Yeah, there
awesome.
is. There's food from we are actually yeah, there's food from all over the world. Yeah, there's food from yeah, we've got, like, the latest one that came in was the collard green. Actually, I didn't even know such a thing existed, but
Collard greens are very, 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 very good for you, and you can cook them a million ways.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we've been I've been in fact, Ashley, I believe she's not here now. I don't know if she's there, but she was saying,
She's
how
here.
she was. Oh, she's here.
She's here.
Oh, okay. Like how she's getting, like, that is one of the challenges for me now, to get more creators on the site to add more content. So I mean, it took me a while because usually if you're working, you have a job, and coding can take a while. So I coded the whole thing. It took almost a year to code. I mean, it wouldn't have taken a year to code, but if you have a job, it's difficult to code with the job. So coded the whole thing. It has location things, this, that. And now I quit my job and I'm doing this full time now.
All right.
Are you having? Do you have a business model, Samir? Is it?
I mean, this is not my first rodeo. I had a business before. I started at I started a business from zero and took it to like $9.6 million in 4 years. Actually, it was just a thing that I developed. That it used to, like, it was an eBay software. It would actually go scour stuff from all the different stores and sell it on eBay. And I did pretty good. We made, like, in 4 years, I made like $9.6 million in sales, and 10 employees and everything. And then eBay just changed their policies and we went out of business.
Oh.
And hello, that happened. And then from the last 4 years, I mean, I took up a job, and then I was just finding, like, going through different ideas and scratching them off and this and that. And then I got this cooking idea. And then it's just a very, like, usually I believe in very simple ideas, like cooking, like, people can show their cooking. And yeah, so what do you guys think about it?
Is this written in Python?
Yeah, it's written in Python and Django. Django is a web framework for Python. So yeah, it's written in Python. And the front end is in Vue.
Yeah,
Vue is a Java. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's actually mobile friendly too. You can, if you check it on your mobile, it's pretty mobile friendly as well. It's not a mobile app as yet, because I wanted to first try the web app and then get into the mobile app thing. Because, but what do you guys have any advice or?
I would just suggest that if you're looking for content, Corey,
Creators, yeah.
content, I definitely think that you should see if you can post some from some of the Food Network. And I think Pinterest is some, I don't know how you would do it, because I know that you can, but I think Pinterest would be one of the places that you can actually pull more content from.
Yeah, I mean, the funding thing is actually, I guess, out of the question now because of the whole COVID thing. So, yeah. So I have to.
Yeah, and I would suggest too, like for creators, like try seeing different sites or places where there's a lot of the types of people that you're looking for, like either reading the content there or interacting with some of it there, like even if it's just a bulk of them, and try to see if you can strategically partner with them. Strategic partnerships are always very helpful when leveraging things, and doing more campaigns around food, especially now that people are cooking more than they normally would. Maybe you could have a strategic partnership with some organization, then you do a campaign on social media with some of the creators that you already have to bring more content creators. Like, think of ways to push things out more, but also grab people in.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. I mean,
I know you're probably thinking, well, here's the next question you might be thinking to yourself, okay, like, well, how am I going to find these strategic partners? Why are they going to want to partner with me? No, they will want to partner with you, because everybody's looking to figure out how they can grow their entity or whatever it is that they are. And I was very shocked by some of the partners that we have initially gotten, like DoSomething.org. They're a huge organization, but there's something unique also to what we bring to the table. And it's, you articulating that to them where they're like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. And, so we partnered with them on different campaigns or things or events, and it's been really helpful. So I think it's just seeing what unique thing do you think you could bring to the table, suggest it. Usually they'll try it. And then you have the strategic partnership that you can keep trying and trying. And it's not just one time. You got to keep pushing it out, like every quarter, every month or something like that. So it does take some work to it. But with a strategic partner, they'll help you with also pushing it out too. So it won't be all on you.
Oh, I did. If you actually see the prison recipe, I got the author of the prison recipe to actually, that's my friend. He used to work together. So I got an author of that book, the prison ramen. I got him to, yeah, so we collaborated, and he actually has a small interview gig in that recipe. So these are all actually just these are not, like some of them are random people, but many of the people I know over there. So.
That's great. Use those connections then, because then he could also, if you put a post about him on your website or something, the platform, or do some type of interview with him, then he can share that out, and then he brings people back.
Yeah, that's what I actually have. If you see the prison thing, I have a small interview of him that I put in there.
Perfect. Yeah, keep doing that with multiple people then. And that's also things that we did too with different people or different entities that we wanted to feature. Then they would push it out to their following, that it brought more people back. Yeah. It's like tick for tat, whatever that thing is.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're great. And it'll just grow.
Yeah, and with that, I'll send you Andrew Humphrey. He's the meteorologist for WDIV4, and he got me into Live in the D. I know they do a lot of segment on cooking, so just try to connect with them. I mean, I'll send you an email. I don't know if you want to connect with them, but I think it's a great way to get on to share what you're doing. I think it's a great platform.
Thank you so much, guys.
How are you planning to monetize it? Did you think of maybe targeting Kroger's or Fresh Market or Aldi, or because I think you have an opportunity to move some of those type of traffic to them.
Right now, is this? Who's the one who asked the question? I mean, I couldn't see.
Javier.
Oh, Javier. Oh, yeah. So right now, there are two ways of monetizing the thing, but one of them is actually because I've been working on this for a while. So the first one is through advertisement, and the second one is a very different way. Like supposing if you see in this, like you see the Japanese nikujaga recipe, okay? Now supposing this lady who made this recipe, she's in your, say she's in Detroit, okay, and you want to taste it, and says she's making the next Sunday she's going to make this, so she can make 15 of these and have a tasting, and then people can actually pay like 10, whatever she says that she wants to charge. So she says I'm going to charge $10 for them, and I'll have 10 recipes and I'll charge $10 each. So she can have a small tasting, and then people can go and taste it. That is one way I was thinking. It's the second way I was thinking was through advertisement, and yeah, basically these two ways: advertisements and tastings.
Hey, Samir, thank you so much for sharing. And Javier, did that answer your question? Sorry, I jumped in a little bit there. Did that answer your question, Javier? Yeah. Hey, I want to thank you, Samir, for being open enough to introduce yourself and talk to us about Kal.com. And it's fascinating. You have a coding background or a technical background, and you're able to use Python and different coding strategies to create this product here. But also it's fascinating to learn about the social aspect of your startup here. And wow, you've decided to put all your time into this. So that's a big step too. And I congratulate you for taking that step. And yeah, it's fascinating to see the social side of this. And that's why, again, we're here to build community. And I'm great we can have these conversations and have this dialogue. Hey, Samir, I think you shared with us way higher up here in the chat, but if you don't mind just sharing a way that we could connect with you, be it an
Sure.
email or just social media. And that's a reminder to everybody else. If there's any social media or websites or email addresses that you'd like to share, that we can see your content or contact you, stay connected with you in the future. Again, I'd like to remind you to do that. And hey, we're at 7:20. We've been here an hour and 20 minutes. I would like to open it up to some last questions for our featured entrepreneurs. If anyone has any questions for James or Ashley or Devankar before we wrap it up here, I'd like to allow a little time for that.
I had a question for James, but I don't know if he's still around. I was just curious with his plain sight with the pandemic and the environment that we're in now. How does he plan? Does he have to pivot, or is he planning to change his model a little bit with the co-working space the way it is?
Yeah, I'm still here. Thanks for the question. I would say when we launched, we tried to focus on verticals like co-working spaces, coffee shops, networking events were pretty popular for us, as well as travel. We have a partnership with Delta for their sky lounges, so people can check into the lounge and build connections and build community while there. But to answer your question more specifically, we are now widening how we think about the type of spaces that we list on our business directory. And that's going to start to look more like just traditional places where people like to shop for retail or go to fitness centers or be able to check in at restaurants and things of that nature, primarily because we want to shift how we think about supporting local and small businesses and not just under specific verticals. And then two, especially with everything that's happening with COVID, we want to help people re-enter those shared spaces and support those local businesses with confidence and peace of mind and be as safe as possible. So yeah, we are definitely thinking about things differently, but I think it's better for the business all around.
again, taking something that seems so negative and being able to put a positive twist on it. Like James said, he's like, hey, this pandemic, this thing, that it can actually be a positive for the company. So that's pretty cool. So, hey, is there any last questions that you'd like to ask our featured entrepreneurs before we wrap it up here? All right, or is there any last statements that our entrepreneurs would like to give to the community?
I guess I'll go. I would just like to say thank you all so much for having me and for the opportunity to speak with you. It's been such a pleasure. And I wish all of you the utmost success with everything. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just hope that you really believe in yourself. I think, you know, people often ask me, I mean, I still have a long way to go with Radar. We're just like at the very, very beginning. But people ask me many times, like, what has been the hardest thing? And for me, the hardest thing has definitely been believing in myself. I finally kind of clapped that into myself. But, you know, because it's really, 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 really hard being an entrepreneur. And I hate to go into all the really, 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 but it really is. And if it's not hard yet for you, that's wonderful. But at one point or another, it probably will be. And I'm not trying to be, you know, negative Patty, whatever, but it's just the truth. So I think, you know, in those moments, just really think to yourself, okay, if you got this far already, you can certainly keep going and get even further. So just in those moments when I have that doubt or like fear or whatever, I just keep telling myself, this too shall pass. I can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. It's not who's going to let me, who's going to stop me. And really, entrepreneurship is just problem solving. There's problem, crisis, and then solving. And then you move forward. You know, problem, crisis, move forward. So if you can keep doing that and just believe in yourself that if you got this far and if you had the vision, you are certainly the person to execute it and bring it forth. And we need you to do so.
I was going to do them at 7:30.
So thank you.
I would echo what Ashley said, especially around just perseverance and resilience through tough times. Business is hard enough, but we know that there's a lot going on in the world right now, whether it be unnecessary distractions of the race relations and the horrific things that are happening in our country from a social side of things, or a pandemic, right? You mix all of those things in together with business already being tough, and it just makes it that much harder. So stay resilient, stay positive, take care of your mental health, and do whatever outlets that you need to do to make sure that that's intact. And I appreciate you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of a panel with such smart people as well. So shout out to the other panelists.
Oh, heart. I hurt you.
Aren't you?
Hey, Devankar, any closing messages for the community?
Definitely. Just want to say that it was such a great experience being able to hear all of your thoughts. I really love just being able to exchange the ideas and continue to see that we are here in Detroit building an ecosystem. We come from all backgrounds, all colors, sexual orientations, socioeconomic backgrounds, and it's just amazing to see that all of us are here to build and create a change. And I am just so looking forward towards the future, because the future seems pretty damn bright to me.
All right. Hey, thank you everybody for coming to our July meetup here virtually. And again, thank you to James and Ashley and Devankar and everyone who's here in support to learn and just be a part of the community. So we will have more events in the future. Look out for us. I'll be sending you some messages. Hey, maybe you want to open up the chat box and select all, copy paste into a notepad or something, just so you have all the great information that was shared. And I'm going to do my best to put this in a form to where we can come back to it and re-access this event and all the information we shared, and hopefully this will be a little resource that we could use going forward. But again, thank you so much. This is all about building community, and we wouldn't have the community if it wasn't for all of you. So let's go stay woke, stay self-aware. Let's make that ripple effect, and we got this. So hey, everybody, talk to you soon. Happy Wednesday, and until next time.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.